Ah,
Good evening.
yes.
And I mean, it is indisputably evening because there is a definite paucity of sunlight. As we
The
would say.
paucity, yes.
The paucity of sunlight.
Yes, my favourite type of sunlight is...
But paucity, or even a complete absence thereof.
Yes, I think there might be. And
Anyway,
once
we're
again-
not here to discuss such things as the
Are we not?
orbit of the moon around the Earth, around the sun, around the
Around Foulkes and Sons. Oh!
We have a Foulkes and Sons centric view of the world, not Copernican. Could you open that, please, Max?
Yes.
Because, viewer, you will remember this location from 2 years ago, exactly to the very minute, except it was daytime, I think, at the time. To the very minute we began the glorious crusade known as Foulkes and Sons. And we were looking at, I just returned from Her Majesty's Cuba. Well, it's not Her Majesty's Cuba at all. I mean, it belonged to the British Crown for about 10 minutes, I think, didn't it, Max? You know these things.
Yeah, I know all these things. I think it was about 12 minutes.
And I had been out there on a very important mission to test and taste the new range of Romeo y Juliet Linea de Oro.
And you very kindly brought some back with you for your son to indulge in.
I know, and then we
So,
decided...
look at that. How much you look at brilliance. Keep going. Keep
No,
going.
I'm not going to go any
More,
further.
more,
no,
more.
I've already destroyed too much of it.
So, tell me about this, or shall I tell you about it?
Well, I remember going to the opening party, the launch party of this, and you could reenact your favourite selfie moment from the Romeo and Juliet
I'm going to unbox
theatrical entertainment by the well-known playwright Mr. William Shakespeare. What light through yonder window breaks, 'tis Juliet and the sun, a plague on both your houses, Montague and Capulet. Verona must have been a pretty lively place to be in that time.
And here we are. And we are smoking, what is it? The Noblesse, this one.
Yeah.
Yes, which I think they call in the factories of Cuba a triangularis, if I'm not mistaken.
I wonder what a squararis is, or a circularis.
And then the other two, the Dianas, which is very nearly your favourite size, very nearly a Siglo 6, 5 millimeters off being a Cañonazo. There's that, and there's also the other one, the Hidalgos.
The Hidalgos.
You've got one in here, which is a short, fat cigar.
It's almost...
I think it's a 57.
It's almost shorter than it is fatter, if you see what I mean.
57
it's fatter than it is long.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's proper stuff.
Have you said about your cigar yet,
No,
Max?
no.
Honestly, Freddie's going to be kept waiting for you to do that. You better rip the other band off the bottom.
Yeah. And what else? This is the first time Romeo and Juliet have released, a sub-line. It's kind of like Monte Cristo's Linea 1935.
It is, isn't it?
Where they released the Dumas and Maltese and Leyenda.
I prefer the Romeo blend.
I know you do.
Do you prefer? You like that kind of slightly bitter tang of the Monte Cristo, don't you?
No, not really. But when they can be, if you have, for example, quite like, I was smoking for a while these, actually a box of 10 Petit Edmundos that Edward kindly gave me for my 21st birthday, and they're very dark and oily. And they're from 2016. They were delicious, and I've got one left. But so this is Romeo's take on that. It's the gold line.
I mean, the box, if you remember, I mean, it's one of the many things it's one of the very few things that will stick in my mind to the end of my days, that box. Varnish, red.
Set 5 minutes more.
Solid gold fittings. It was a triumph of the box maker's art.
And then there was the tri-pack, which had all three sizes in a red varnished box, which was terribly exciting.
Yes, what happened to the box? Didn't I throw it at Freddie when he was filming and he caught it and crushed it in his hands?
And then I sold it on eBay.
No!
The remnants of the box.
Did you?
I don't know, I don't think so.
Oh, God.
Probably fetched a pretty penny.
That was a pretty penny. That was a valuable...
Do you remember when I sold the empty box of Behike 52s and it went to China, and then the man asked me if I still had the labels? Which I thought was very, very good. I wonder what was happening there. I should have provided him with the labels.
We could have sold the labels too.
No, but it had the cedar wood and it had everything you need to fake a box of Behikas.
Maybe a recording of cigars being rolled and Cuban music being played, so that he could sort of rebuild the entire island of Cuba.
But he loved it. He loved it. He thought it was very good. But he said he didn't mind too much. He didn't have the bands as well. But I understand it might have upset him a bit. But yeah, so here we are, and we're smoking the Noblesse, which is the Triangularis, which is a
What are you getting? I'm getting a sort of.
Six.
I'm getting a, what would you say?
I
It's
don't know.
something on the tip of the tongue.
Tobacco.
No, there must
Cuban tobacco.
There must be something a bit. I don't know. It's not as rich as I was expecting.
Mm.
How's yours? There's a slightly
It's
metallic taste to the tip of the tongue.
It is, yeah, there is. It's meant to be a slightly fuller body than the regular line. I think they say it's a medium to full strength cigar, or medium full bodied, or medium full.
Yes, they don't like the word strength, do they?
No, body.
Fortaleza, but I mean, the strength they like to. They talk in terms of body and flavour.
Yeah, but as you know, none of these are really my size. The one that's probably the most approachable is one we're not smoking right now, which is the Dianas, which is a 52 ring gauge. I mean,
But I always.
that's small by today's standards. That's a 26.
I know by today's standards, this is a sort of kiddywink
This
cigar.
is
A
nothing.
cigar for the kiddywink. For the first. I saw a brilliant headline on a magazine yesterday. It was for the Bentley Fanciers magazine or something. And it had why the Silver Spirit 2 is the perfect starter Rolls Royce.
What?
I mean, for the what you know, like my first Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
That's the Silver Spirit. That was the headline. Is what is the perfect starter Rolls Royce?
Oh right, brilliant. What was this? Recent.
And the magazine, the Silver Spirit it looked. There's not a curved line on it really. It's a sort of it's as if you'd been given a lot of boxes of different sizes and been asked to create the bodywork for a motor car based upon that. With instructions not to have any curved lines. The Silver Spirit.
It sounds very good.
It's fantastic.
The
You
Silver
love it.
Spirit.
The best one is the Rolls Royce Camargue, which had split level air conditioning.
What does that do?
It was a gimmick at the time. I think
What does it-
you could keep your upper half hot and your feet cold.
Oh, that's great.
Isn't that brilliant?
That's exactly what I've been looking for in a car.
Yes. I wonder how we got there from.
I don't know. I can't quite remember.
No, these conversations do take a perplexing turn even for me, and I'm actually delivering the conversating.
Yes, and I'm just here listening. Your ash looks very nice.
It does, doesn't it?
It does look very good.
But maybe I'm smoking it too. Maybe I chopped off too much in my enthusiasm.
No, I don't think so. I mean, it's quite difficult to. I mean, this cut is quite difficult for a figurado anyway. I mean, it's only really meant for Parejos, so you had to chop a fair amount off. Look, you see, we've probably chopped off an equal amount.
Yeah, not much more, not much in it.
No, not a great deal.
But what happened? So, viewer, this is an historic broadcast because it is 2 years since we've been broadcasting to the free world, and in that time we have smoked many cigars.
What's
and enlightened many millions of viewers. We know we have.
What?
I think maybe 3 subscribers. To
I
the
know.
internet.
It's God save us.
But the best one was. Do you remember the star of one of our recent broadcasts in season 4? Hani Farsi, inventor of the smoke candle.
Yes,
he was minding
patchouli.
He was minding his own business. I think it was in the south of France when a young German lad working in the cigar industry, a cigar sommelier, came up and said, "You're Hani Farsi, aren't you?" And Hani
From Foulkes and Sons.
And he said, "How do you know?" And he said, "Because I've seen you on Foulkes and Sons." They're obviously what are they valuable historical and instructional?
I think that's happened a couple times since. Someone else was telling me about
Who?
having bumped into Hani Farsi and not knowing him for what he actually does, but in fact for being on our silly little show. Maybe a little show, not so little anymore. Maybe still silly.
No, but I think extremely silly.
Yeah.
I mean, what we
The
lack.
show,
what we lack in
the
littleness, we
broadcast.
make up for in frivolity and
Yes,
nonsense.
it's brilliant. So
I feel like Cincinnatus, taken from his plough.
I think on occasion we started hallucinating when we were smoking overly powerful cigars.
I had that once with Mr. Brown when he was running the Monte Cristo factory. I was asking because he had cameras mounted all around the factory, and he could zoom in to see that the rollers were doing their job properly. And he had the remote control wrapped in a plastic bag, and he would do this. And then I would say, "Mr. Brown," I posed him a question. I was like, "Mr. Brown," I said, "what did you have for breakfast?"
Yeah.
And he said, "Before I answer that, allow me to present you with one of my extra super special, full flavoured,
Full flavour.
Fortaleza lots
Yeah.
cigar." Can't remember the rest of the afternoon.
Really?
No, I just came to in my hotel room.
Yeah, that's great. When did you
Walking
smoke it in the morning before
No,
breakfast?
no. I mean, this is after lunch. I mean, my body was already well fortified.
I don't understand these things where you just smoke a kind of incredibly strong cigar and some people actually find it enjoyable.
They're very manly.
Yes, they are. Would you say these cigars are for a manly man, or
I think there's a certain degree of fortaleza. It's for the man who is definitely more in touch with his masculine side, so therefore probably not entirely suitable.
Doesn't
for us.
bother wearing kind of suits and goes. What were we talking about earlier? Wearing short shorts and a pair of cortes with training socks on.
that was your idea. That was your idea.
That's a manly man.
You walked into the Corthe shop, didn't you?
We did, and I think we might soon to. We're top secret information.
Top secret, but you were in the fort. You were in the Corthe. Could you have been swimming in your Corthes? I think.
Yeah,
they hadn't really survived the natation.
No.
So you were swimming in your Corthes.
And had the ankle socks on.
You were swimming in your Corthes. You'd forgotten to take them off. I think you were just swimming.
Yeah.
And you said, I said, they'll be all right. Just put them full of newspaper.
Put the newspaper in them.
Once you got the fish out and stuff like that.
And then I noticed there was a crease. And
we noticed there was a crease, and they smelt of salt, having been in the English Channel for 3 hours.
And they're now being ironed.
And while you were in there being the fish being removed and fried and ironed and all the rest of it, there was a viewer of the television program, wasn't it?
Yes, buying a pair of the same shoes. Or contemplating purchasing.
Well, I mean, I trust that you advised him heavily into it.
Yeah, along
the lines of, I won't allow you to leave the store until you purchase at least 4 pairs of those, and I will take the commission thereof.
What colour are my shoes? Are they burgundy?
I would say they are maybe a dark plum or something like this.
Yeah. They're very good colour. They're a proper colour.
Mm.
And so, what are we going to do? We're going to smoke a bit more of this cigar. We're going to see what happens. What are your first impressions?
The metallic taste on the tip of the tongue is...
It's not left.
It's leaving.
No, it's not left just yet, though.
No, but it's leaving. We were talking about Monte Cristo, and maybe it's auto-suggestion taking place, but I sense there's something of that slight citrusy feel to it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, not that I drink martinis or I need any alcohol anymore at all, but when you wipe a bit of lemon peel around the top and then twist it, and the zest.
I know exactly what you mean, yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a pretty interesting cigar.
It's good, and construction's very good.
Oh, construction's fantastic.
Oh, it's superb. And the ash is
it's a drum of ash of incomparable beauty.
It's brilliant. I don't think it could be much better. Anyway,
this is like smoking a cigar in Athens. This is
like smoking gold.
In Athens in the time of Pericles or something.
And on that note, we will leave.
To return.
Yes.
Later. Look at my back.
Look at it. Look at
that ash. Look at that. That is historic.
Yeah, it's much better.
That should be preserved for the nation. It started to be a little bitter.
Yeah.
But now it's sort of filled out. It's more rounded.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I think because I'm kind of to a degree enjoying it now, I can say that I didn't to start with.
I didn't find it the most auspicious of beginnings, shall we say.
No. What was it you say? This will age nicely.
Yes.
Put it down for a few years.
But there are ways of saying these things. Meaning, if you don't want people to stay for dinner, and they're your guests, you say, you will stay for tea, won't you? Meaning they're going to be gone by after tea. And then, if it doesn't smoke terribly well at the beginning, you say, this will age beautifully.
Yes, it'll age beautifully. It lends itself to aging.
But this actually is a well-made, very beautiful cigar. The footband, again, was very attractive and quite useful, I find. Stops them fraying.
It does.
And also lends a sense of occasion to the cigar.
It is an exceptionally fancy-looking cigar. Even I find myself drawn to it, despite its horrendously oversized ring gauge.
Yeah, you don't like that.
Although because it is tapered, because it is a figurado, it can sit quite comfortably.
Yeah, but look, mine's splitting down. But this massive band is keeping it. But there's a nice pyramid.
You see?
You know, a nice bit
huge
of
band.
But look at that. It's like a.
I think it could have done.
I could fall to my death down there. It's kind of ravine.
It could have done with a third and a fourth band.
Yeah.
Maybe a head band and
maybe like an entire
abdomen band and a foot band and all this stuff. Maybe just entirely clad in gold, and not just gold paper, but just gold.
Gold.
It's good. And I don't think there's any available right now, which is why we're smoking.
No, there aren't any available, are there? That's fantastic.
I think you've got the.
I've got the
world
only ones in
supply,
captivity. It's so good. Once again, entirely unavailable from anywhere.
That's the whole point. And this size in particular.
Is it particularly sought after?
We only had at least at Davidoff and I think elsewhere as well. Only the Dianas and the Hidalgos was available, and not the Nobles. And I love the Nobles. It's my favorite because it's called the Triangulares. I mean,
you can't get better than that, really.
The other ones, the other Vitola de Galeras are the same as the Solidas, but this is called a Triangulares. I mean, what a world!
It's great when you have. I hope that somebody's very highly paid to think up these names.
Triangulares.
Do you think that goes to a board meeting? They go. Okay, we're going to take this one to the board. Triangulares. I think it's got something three-sided about it.
The Triangulares.
And it's nothing like a triangle at all.
Of course it is. Can you not see it?
It'd be great if they kind of did the triangular profile. Like, there is a cigar that does have that.
Like a box-pressed triangle. I'm sure there's the hexagonal Plasencia, or
the hexagonal, the dodecagonal.
That's what we're talking about.
It'd be so good to have a dodecagonal cigar profile.
So this is a cigar that will lend itself well to aging.
But actually, once you get past the first centimetre, it's very pleasant.
Yeah, it's not half bad. I wouldn't say it's terribly strong. I mean, they say it's meant to be medium to full, but I would say it's medium.
Flavour. They don't like strength. Flavour, full flavour.
Probably like, at least so. I mean, I've not even reached halfway yet, I suppose, but it's light to medium.
Oh.
I've not started hallucinating just yet. Or rambling I was doing from the beginning.
Rambling we've done, I think, since birth. That's a congenital affliction.
Although I didn't do a great deal of rambling in the first half of this video.
No, until your mother dropped you on your head.
That was you, wasn't it?
No, it was not me. I only say...
Viewer, one side of my skull is flat. And there was a moment in time, I can't really remember. I remember the fall. It felt like a lifetime.
It felt like a lifetime.
I was falling forever until
it changed your life.
There
you were. You were speaking in ancient Greek at 3 months old.
I was actually very, very clever, and now I'm positively. Well, I won't say.
Well, you're not at all. You're genius.
I did go to Oxford on a couple of occasions.
You did go to Oxford. You studied at Oxford. You
and I went to a lecture at Brunel.
Went to a lecture at Brunel in engineering. And was it engineering?
Engineering,
and then you did also breakfast sometimes in the Somerville College or whatever.
And I did. I was a Deliveroo driver at one point in time, which takes a little bit of, getting used to, and you've got to think about these things. I need to get to this postcode. What is the fastest way to get there? More often than not, I demand my location was sent to me in Latin. just to test myself.
Yes, I would often like to compose a sort of.
I'd say customer,
a
please.
Petrarchian sonnet. I would like. Could you please deliver the address and menu in the mode of a Petrarchian sonnet?
And they were more than happy to oblige. Is obliged.
Could you deliver it in one of Browning's dramatic monologues?
And it went down very well. But just like this cigar,
my favourite is Mr. Sludge the Medium.
That's my favourite too.
What
is that?
It's one of Browning's dramatic monologues.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's when they liked looking for the spirits of the dead in 19th century.
We still like doing it now.
And nothing like it.
Yes, look at that. So
it's good.
I might.
You don't know what observation to make based upon that behaviour.
I might have just reached Ligera, possibly. I'm not entirely sure. But
Viewer,
there we are.
Viewer, this is the anniversary. It's been 2 years since we have been broadcasting, not just to the nation but to the free world, and it's quite a moving experience to be back here in the Studio One at the Foulkes and Sons ancestral hovel where it all began.
Yeah, it's not half bad. It's just the same as I remember it,
except better. And we are very kind. We're very happy that the Queen continues to allow us to broadcast on Her Majesty's Internet.
Her Majesty's Internet. We hope she is well
and enjoying these broadcasts. God bless you, ma'am.
Yes.
And God bless you, viewer.
And God bless the USA.
And we're still fighting the Vira 1 coronas at a time, but more and more in a ceremonial manner these days.
One triangularis at a time.
One triangularis at a time. Viewer,
and thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.